Michael in San Antonio, you're on with Jen and Claire.
Hello. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Sure.
So I just wanted to ask that with the limits of our senses and with the limits of the scientific method by association, how do you have faith in the conclusions drawn by the scientific method and science in general?
Easily.
Right, but with our limited senses, there's a lot that we can't perceive. So how do you trust what you are seeing? Because there's a lot that you're not seeing.
Right. Our senses are limited, it's true, but we are smart and we can build stuff that extend our senses and give us a way to look at stuff. When I was in undergraduate 30 years ago or whatever, they said when we were talking about the structure of chemical bonds in molecules, that it would look like this. They hypothesized that it would look like the six-sided rings and have this shape and so forth, and that we would never get to actually know because they're just too small. Well, by God, they figured out how to photograph molecules, and they look just like we hypothesized them to look. Yeah. So the science there is extremely rigorous. And, how does that not fit what you're talking about?
Because it's still very limited to what we can perceive. So, like, for example, scientists now, that the number's been changing, but they say now that maybe about 90% of the universe is dark matter or dark energy. Yeah. And we can't perceive it at all. All we know is that, how do we tell me.
I can't see gravity, but it's there. It's a very powerful force. And the dark matter was hypothesized to exist a hell of a long time ago. They knew something was going on. They couldn't figure it out. Mm-hmm. And then, through science, studying physics, boom, they figured out that there's this other force, dark matter, that is the glue that holds us together. And the most wonderful analogy I've heard is by Neil deGrasse Tyson. He talks about, have you ever been at the ocean shore at night? Have you ever seen waves crashing out? Okay, so the white frothy stuff, that's the stuff you can see. The water itself, usually when it's dark, you can't see it, but it's supporting that white frothy stuff. And it's the majority of it, the dark matter and that water that's underneath the frothy stuff. So I thought that was pretty brilliant.
Okay, so what you're saying is like the matter that we can perceive is like the froth, and the dark matter would be like the ocean?
Basically. I mean, that's an analogy, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Well, it's the one you're giving me. I'm just trying to understand
sure.
Exactly, because, I mean, the way you describe that is like not knowing anything about the ocean and just studying the froth, thinking that you're going to understand the ocean. That's not going to tell you, that's going to tell you less than 5%. You won't know anything of any animals in the ocean.
Yeah, see, that's why I said it's an analogy. It's not perfect.
Yeah.
There's still a hell of a lot to know. If you want to push back that barrier that we have where the knowledge goes up to, get a PhD. You can help push that back. There are so many interesting questions that we haven't answered, a lot that we have. And,
Right. So do you operate with the understanding, like how you, you had you had said earlier about, we build technology that extend our senses, right? Like infrared, ultraviolet, X-ray, stuff like, things that our naked eyes can't perceive, but then we start to perceive more and more. So, I mean, do you accept that it's possible that this, that the entire ocean of dark matter that we can't see actually is a really, really essential part of all the interactions of, it could unify, the nuclear forces and gravity and all that stuff. But the what I'm trying to say is, we don't know what's going on behind that curtain, but still, we're having faith in just what we can see. I mean, even when we extend our senses,
it's not about having faith in what we can see.
Yeah, it's confirmed over and over. The scientific method is not going to accept something unless it's pretty rigorous. And
So,
there's a
but it
lot.
changes quite as time goes on.
That's
over
because
the
we
last
learn
That's a
more
100 years.
strength. That's a strength of science.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's
Exactly.
that we can
You learn more
change.
stuff.
yeah. Oh, it's if you're saying that we could possibly have our world rocked by some new discovery that changes everything, yeah, it's happened before.
Yeah. So I guess knowing that that's happened before and could happen again is, I mean, but
You still go with what you got. I mean, what are you going to do? Chuck all of it out and just pretend you don't know anything? We go with what we got.
What we do is, in my opinion, is we know that everything is subject to change. And I understand that is the belief in science, but sometimes you don't act like it. You know, you're telling, oh, well, in 30 million generations, we'll go to Alpha Centauri. Like,
That's not what she said.
It's a bit of,
Yeah, I said it would be possible. And you know what happens when scientists?
I apologize.
It's okay. When scientists, I have to oversimplify stuff. I get feedback from people who watch these shows, and they'll tell me if they understood it or not. I try not to use any jargon, and I try to keep it as simple as possible so that everybody can understand it. So
I appreciate that.
yeah.
I really do.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it's my job as a teacher. Just because I'm talking in words that have, certain meanings doesn't mean that I'm saying that's the final word. That's it, and the definition is there, and that's the end of it. There's always new stuff coming up, and sometimes, the worst thing that I see is articles written about science by people who don't understand science. They'll write a title that just makes my skin crawl, like chocolate cures cancer. Like, wait. They may have done one study and they may have found a small effect if you just lived on chocolate and it was a mutated mouse. And, it's
I wish
oversimplifies.
I wish chocolate cured cancer.
Hey, chocolate does all sorts of good things. It's good stuff.
Sure. Well, that's the culture of misleading studies, usually for a profit by somebody.
It's more that people publish what they find because it's of interest to other scientists, and then somebody finds it and thinks, ooh, I'm going to publish this and turn it into something that it's not. I don't think most scientists are ethical people. Why would a scientist want to put out information that's wrong or useless? Most of us want to do the very best.
Reasons. I mean, there's been plenty of scientific forgeries in the past.
Yes.
There are reasons.
But have you seen how many publications actually hold water? Have you? Billions.
Well, and the other thing to note is that when people do publish fraudulent data, guess who discovers that this was fraudulent data?
Yeah, it isn't.
It's
Joe Schlunk on the street.
other
It's another
scientists
scientist.
that uncover that they've either falsified data or they've used bad methodology or.
And it's not that
all kinds of
the thing changed, right? The thing didn't change. It's our understanding of it changed.
Sure, of course, yeah. Our speculating on the inner workings of the universe do not change how it actually works.
Right.
Yes.
Well, it could actually. Who knows? Our
I hope
thoughts
not.
might have some impact. We don't know.
We're jacking up our own planet just plenty. I don't think we need to jack anything else up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you for your time. It was nice to talk to you about some of these things I've had on my mind. And,
Right on.
All right.
And
Nice
enjoy
to hear
the
from
rest
you.
of your day.
Thanks
All
for
right.
the call.
Take care.
All right. Bye.
All right.